Hello, my name is Hassan from Barnes & Nobles. We believe, together with the Dallas Chamber of Commerce, we can help improve reading among adolescents. The name of our proposal is Preparing Children to Succeed. Our plan is to reduce poverty in the city of Dallas by encouraging children to read from a younger age, thus eliminating the language barrier. We believe because children are taught different language at home, they are put at a severe disadvantage. Our plan is to distribute books among children so that they develop a reading habit of reading. This is the outline to our presentation, which we're going to go over. The first one is interrelated factors of low literacy, solutions to closing the gap, budget and metrics of the event, and the benefits.
Thank you, Hassan. Good evening, Dallas Chamber of Commerce. My name is Jesus Delgado, and I will discuss some of the factors that contribute to low literacy rates among children in our community. The three interrelated factors that I will emphasize tonight are language barriers, parents' education level, and poverty. The first factor that I will elaborate is language barriers in Dallas, which is a result of the changing demographics in our city over the last 30 years. According to the Literacy Coalition of Greater Dallas, 40% of people speak a language other than English at home, which correlates with the 41% of total enrolled students identify as English language learners in the Dallas Independent School District. As an immigrant from Mexico at the age of 10 and a former student of the ISD, I know what it's like to walk in the shoes of many of the children where our event will be hosted, because I grew up in a similar background. I understand how language can be a barrier in the education process. In my situation, my parents' involvement in academics was hindered by language because they did not feel included. According to the National Parent-Teacher Association, children need the inclusion of their parents in order to succeed in the classroom. Parent inclusion can make all the difference in the child's success. Even though I was able to graduate high school and currently working on my bachelor's in accounting, I was at a higher risk of dropping out of school because a study conducted by the American Association in 2012 discovered that Latino students that spoke one language at home and another at school were at an increased risk of dropping out of school or graduating late. The second factor is parents' education level. In my case, my immigrant parents' literacy skills were low because they didn't speak the language, but also because they only obtained basic elementary education. In the Dallas area, 500,000 adults have low literacy skills and 25% do not have a high school diploma or GED. Children growing in households with low literacy skills or without higher education are at a higher risk of getting behind and never catching up. The last factor that causes low literacy rates is poverty. An article in the Dallas Morning News mentioned a shocking study that found that in the poorest neighborhoods, books are scarce, and there was only a single book for every 300 children. In Dallas, 1 in 5 people live in poverty every day, and poverty has increased 41% over the last decade. Not having access to books has a profound and lasting impact because a study by the Annie Casey Foundation found that about 16% of children who lack reading proficiency by the end of 3rd grade struggle to graduate. In 2014, star reading scores in the ISD were relatively low at 64% compared to the statewide average of 74%. The scores are a reflection of poor families spending less time reading versus those of wealthier families. Now we'll pass it to my colleague who will talk about how the Dallas Chamber of Commerce and Barnes & Noble can work together to increase literacy rates.
Thank you, Jesus. My name is Ember Chafin, and now that we've seen that low literacy is a problem in Dallas, what do we plan to do about it? We plan to host a readathon the Saturday before National Read a Book Day. We plan for the event to be hosted at Keys Park in South Dallas. We will be inviting 4 nearby schools, 2 of which are within walking distance and 2 others are less than 5 minutes away. We picked this area because 85% of the students at these schools are considered economically disadvantaged. We also looked at the STAR scores for the schools. Marina Moreno Elementary School had less than 40% of the 3rd graders pass the Reading STAR test. The Keys Park offers 263 acres and hundreds of parking spaces. We will have 2 entrances and also a security gate around the softball and baseball fields. We will cover the baseball diamonds with a tarp to help avoid damages, and we will also keep the dugout locked for safety. 10 of our 400 volunteers from local colleges and the National Junior Honor Society at local high schools will be in the front checking in families and explaining the layout of our event. We will have bilingual volunteers throughout the event to help with the language barrier. When you first walk in and you go to the left, you'll see that there's a dining area for snacks and lunch. We know that families in low-income areas may lack access to affordable and nutritious foods. If you go in and go to the right, you'll see where the kids will be sitting down reading with a volunteer. We want them to read stories like you see in front of us here. What do you do with an idea? And the Dr. Seuss classic, Oh, the Places You'll Go. We also know that the event could get busy and volunteers may not have the one-on-one time with the children. If that is the case, we will have the volunteers get a group of kids by their grade level and read to them. Once they have finished the story, the volunteers will provide with them a wristband to go to the play area, which will have bounce houses, face paint, and other fun activities. We will also have the parent info guest author area. Here will be information on the importance of reading for the parents, as well as the programs DISD offers to help adults learn English. We will have guest author Mo Williams, who will read on both sides of the park at staggered times. The most important part of our event is that the kids will leave with a donated book from Barnes & Noble, selected by grouping 2 grades and picking one of the lower-end book recommendations for that age. We hope to hand out 2,000 books to make sure that there is more than 1 in every 300 homes with books. Although so far, the only donation we've been able to secure are the books, so we've put together a budget to help with the other cost. We estimate the food and beverage to cost about $10 per person. We also will be hiring event staff to provide, put up, tear down the tents, chairs, tables, and trash cans. We also will have a safe environment. We want to make sure we have a safe environment, so we will be doing background checks for all of our 400 volunteers to ensure that they meet the DISD volunteer qualifications. We plan to have private security to help add extra safety. There will also be the play area with the bounce houses, face painting, and other activities that we expect to cost about $8,000. We will be doing promotions at the school, like flyers that you received when you walked in, as well as banners and a radio ad on KERA to help bring awareness and volunteers to the event. The author appearance was quoted at $3,000 for 3 hours. And we will also be hiring a cleaning crew so the cleanup is not left to the city. With these estimated expenses, we expect the event to cost $26 per attendee. Today we are asking for the Chamber's investment of $40,000. Now I will have my colleague tell you what the benefits are to your investment.
Thank you, Amber. My name is Raj Kadur. I'm here to talk to you guys about the benefit of having a readathon for the city of Dallas and how it benefits the city. We would like to improve the reading skills in the community while also improving literary success in the community. As you can see in that graph right there, you can see the success, this is the STARS rate for 5th graders in the state of Texas compared to Dallas. The success pass rate has gone up for the state of Texas while the pass rate has gone down for DISD. So we want to make sure we break that cycle within the city by starting some reading events for kids at a young age. I just want to take a moment and paraphrase something President Obama said when he was visiting prisons throughout the United States. He said the only way that you can break a cycle is by doing something different. So we believe having a readathon like this in areas such as Bar the Park is we can break a cycle and make sure kids have books to read at a young age. And we have a few ways to measure the success of the event. One of the ways is the short-term success of the event, seeing whether the kids were able to increase their reading scores throughout the year, and also long-term, getting those grades over the course of their education, see if they were developing over the course of their education. Another way, we want to be way to see whether we can see whether the event was a success the day of. We have a Facebook page to see if we were able to reach as many people as we possibly can surveys, because we do want to make sure this is an annual event, so where we can improve the event or what they liked in the event. We also want to see how many books were actually taken by the kids, and they just didn't come, read, and leave, because we actually want to see if they're interested in reading with the book. And then we want to see how many volunteers actually showed up, and the attendance, make sure we can see whether we hit the 3,100 mark that we were hoping to achieve in the amount of kids that came to see for the event. And the benefits of the readathon, we want to develop an oral language at a young age for kids, because we know having a good oral language as an adult is very important, so they can talk properly within society for whether it comes to job interviews. We believe that all starts at a very young age. We want to develop an interest to read, and we also want to teach them the importance of reading, because I, for one, am one person whose English is a second language to them. So at a young age, I never realized how important reading was till when I got to high school and college, and by then it's all about reading a book, doing an essay, and that sort of thing. We also want to be able to develop confidence for them at a young age, because I'm sure most of you guys can attest to this. Popcorn time was not one of the fun things you guys had growing up. And I, for one, was one of those kids who would always be counting the amount of people ahead of me, reading along, trying to make sure I didn't mess up, because I wasn't instilled with how important reading was at a young age, because I didn't have events such as this to go to at a young age.
So I'm going to read to you the Barnes & Noble's mission statement. It says to operate the best omni-channel specialty retail business in America, helping both our customers and booksellers reach their aspirations while being equipped for the community we serve. We feel like this falls in line with our mission statement. The mission, because we both strive to improve the community, and we both give the children to develop a healthy habit of reading. We hope you'll fund this project, and we look forward to starting as soon as we can. We'd like to open the floor for questions.
When it comes to bilingual, is this open for children who just speak Spanish, or are you looking to reach out to other languages as well? For instance, immigrants maybe from like Korea.
We plan to open the event to children from all different backgrounds, but and we will try to get volunteers that will be able to speak multiple languages, but we do know in that particular area the Hispanic population is large, that they have a large Hispanic population, so speaking Spanish is not a qualification, but we want to make sure we have plenty of people there who do speak Spanish.
I really like the idea of giving the books to the children, but how do you know that they're going to read them when you give it to them?
And that's unfortunately something that we are not sure of yet. You know, we can really, we can host the event and we can hope that they read it. We did want to try to make this an annual event, so perhaps, you know, they get excited about coming and getting a new book. So the big thing is that there's only one book in every 300 households. With this event, we will at least place more books in more homes.
Okay, thank you.
Just out of curiosity, when you say that the poverty is linked to the kids who can't do as well in school, is it due to lack of access to resources or lack of books? Because I think of like the libraries in the area. Do the libraries not contribute to their kids' success at all?
They do, but our main goal is to develop a habit of reading. A kid won't go to a library if he doesn't have the habit of reading from a young age. So libraries are there, but they're just not going to them. We just want to, you know, a book like this might get a child interested in reading. So that's what our plan is.
Good job on your presentation.
Thank you. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.